You feel it creeping up on you. That familiar sense of dread as you look at the blank canvas, the paints, the brushes. The inspiration has dried up and all you're left with is a crushing emptiness. Welcome to the artist's purgatory, the dreaded creative block. But fear not, my fellow creator. I have a trick up my sleeve, a little ritual that I like to call the unblocking process. It's simple, it's effective, and it just might be the salve your artistic soul needs. First, you gotta set the stage. Gather your paints, your brushes, your small canvases or gessoed paper. Embrace the process, the familiar motions of preparing to create. There's power in the routine, a grounding force that can steady your wavering resolve. Now, the real work begins. You're going to paint, my friend. Not a masterpiece, mind you, but a warm-up. 2 or 3 quick studies, each one a mere 10 to 15 minutes long. Don't overthink it, just let the paint flow. Big, bold shapes. Dark to light. Thick, juicy strokes. Suggest, don't define. The first one. Probably a mess. But that's the point. It's the mental equivalent of shaking the rust off your joints, loosening up those creative cobwebs. What about the second one? Well, that's where the magic happens. The gears start turning, the inspiration begins to reignite. And if you need a third, so be it. Sometimes the unblocking process takes a little more time, a little more coaxing. But trust me, it's worth it. Because once you've cleared that mental hurdle, the world is your oyster. Now you have a choice to make. Do you continue on, seizing the newfound inspiration to tackle a more formal, considered piece? Or do you simply bask in the satisfaction of having overcome your creative block, happy to let the day's work end there? Either way, you've won. You've stared down the demon of artistic apathy and emerged victorious. You know tomorrow will be better. The guilt, the self-doubt banished. You are an artist, and you're okay. So the next time the creative well runs dry, don't despair. Embrace the unblocking process, let it work its magic, and watch as the colors start to flow once more. After all, as Picasso himself once said, inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Go create something. Because that is what artists do.
Yes, that's what artists do. We create things, we work through the blocks, we get to work. That's how we get inspired and we keep creating. Sometimes it's not so good, sometimes it's great. So we keep going. Doesn't matter, keep working. It's not simply about making a living. So I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you, and as you watch, if you're joining me on YouTube, I'm going to go through the second painting we spoke about in my process of getting through a painting block, and that's exactly why I did these little paintings, and it's helped me. So let's have a look at the painting, sit back, relax, and I'm going to just share a few thoughts. And let me know in the comments how you get through your painting blocks and painting hurdles. So what are the benefits of painting? Why is it something that we keep doing? I certainly feel compelled to keep painting because it isn't a hobby I do occasionally. For me, it's something a lot more profound. It's a practice that enhances my mental and emotional well-being. I get to refine my painting skills, and this inspires me to carry on building more confidence. I think this is a natural course of progression for anyone who commits themselves to painting on a regular basis. So what are some of the more specific benefits? Well, I spoke about mental and emotional well-being, and it's a proven fact that consistent painting serves as a powerful tool for maintaining focus, reducing stress, and it helps us to really immerse ourselves in our work, creating a meditative state that promotes what they call mindfulness. When artists concentrate on the color, the composition, the brushstrokes, we get to escape daily worries, and this is, I guess, similar to the effects of meditation. This focus on creating not only alleviates our anxieties, but also fosters a sense of accomplishment and joy. Of course, this enhances our overall mental health, how we feel about ourselves, and our relationship with others. So refining our skills, that's also something that we get pleasure from. As I spoke about earlier, of course, when things get difficult and we're feeling blocked, it's not necessarily that painting's not for us. It is rather a point where we need to push ourselves a little further to unlock another skill level, kind of like those games our kids play. So even seasoned artists find value in doing the basic studies, the short sprints, those little exercises. It keeps a process of continuous learning, and this introduces new techniques and approaches that deepen our understanding of painting. So as we experiment with different styles and mediums, we evolve and our artistic voice evolves. But sometimes those new styles and mediums can be difficult to master. If we ever do master them, we certainly will improve with using those mediums and styles. So it's a commitment to growth, and this ensures our skills become sharp and adaptable, and we keep evolving. Painting keeps us inspired. So creative stagnation is a common hurdle for artists. This is what I've been talking about, and to get over this, we have to set goals and explore sometimes unfamiliar subjects that can make us feel a little vulnerable. Maybe we feel, well, we're actually not that good at painting this thing. Doesn't mean we're not good at painting at all. It just means this new thing is difficult. So we may have to revisit our old works and just get our foundation strengthened again, find our perspective and our confidence, and realize, we can do this because we've overcome so much to get to this point. You can also help yourself by engaging with other artists, art communities, workshops, getting inspiration from simply talking and working with other people, whether it's online or as part of your social circle, whatever it is. Some feedback and positive reinforcement is never a bad thing. The second part of that is pay it back as well, or pay it forward, as they say. Be the positive reinforcement that others may be needing. In this way, you are giving back and you are helping. And this is also part of our purpose in life. Working on our art helps us build confidence. So regular practice builds that confidence where our abilities improve. Also, we get positive feedback. We start giving more positive feedback to others because now we see the whole circle. Others have helped us, and now we must help others. By creating consistently, we encourage other artists to take risks and explore new ideas without fear of failure, because we see that we have got through these problems as well. So what about returning to painting after you've had a long break? Sometimes life's demands often leads to artists taking break from their work and having to return to painting after a long time. This can be, it can be exciting. It also can be very daunting. Reconnecting with our creativity is sometimes an emotional thing. It can be a relief. It also can be a little worrying or scary because we realize we've lost some of that skill. Or maybe we're worried the passion for painting has gone and we are simply going through the motions and not actually reconnecting. But by pushing forward, you will reconnect with your art spirit. This is going to reinvigorate your passion for painting. It's going to be exciting, and it's something that you can look forward to every day. So it's common, though, to experience fear, as I mentioned, or as is sometimes called, the resistance that is constantly trying to protect you and stop you from going forward in case you do something that's going to harm you, maybe embarrass you. So dealing with these doubts upon resuming your practice is perfectly normal. Just understand that this hesitation is going to help you ease into the flow once again. It's not going to be an immediate thing. It's going to be a point of re-entry where you've got to enjoy it, go with it, and believe in yourself. Starting small is a good thing. You've got to, what is sometimes referred to as, make small wins. Enjoy those small wins. Short sessions focused on sketching or quick studies with your painting, like I'm doing, is going to help rebuild a habit, and you're not going to overwhelm yourself. Gradually increasing the complexity of projects allows for a smoother transition back into regular painting. And let go of perfectionism. If you've suffered from this terrible malady, you know that perfectionism is one of the biggest hurdles you have to deal with. Achieving perfection is not the aim. It's never going to happen. Instead, think about the fun and joy of creating. As they say, the imperfections are simply part of the process of creating. This is a mindset shift that is important. It's going to encourage you to explore more and get more expression into your painting, and that's going to develop your own unique style. If you've just taken up the brush and painting is all new to you, well, that's also a challenge. So why even bother? Why start with your painting? Well, sometimes people are turning to painting later in life as a means of relaxation or self-exploration, something to do in your retirement, or maybe something to generate a little extra income perhaps on the side, who knows? But the act of creating is liberating. Very often, a lot of artists only discover this later in life, but it's never too late. This sense of freedom enhances your overall well-being and gives you a purpose. Sometimes that is all you need, a purpose to get up and get going in the day. There are health benefits too. Engaging in painting includes benefits like mental clarity, relaxation, firing up those neurons in the brain so we don't stagnate, reduces stress. It's a major stress reliever. For those entering retirement or seeking new hobbies, painting offers cognitive stimulation and a lot of immediate feedback. And it's accessible to just about everyone. You don't need the most expensive art materials. Creating art is something you can do with a pencil and a piece of paper. So forget about any blocks as far as material things are concerned. It's all about you, yourself, and getting started. What about community and connection? Well, painting fosters community, whether through physical classes, physical workshops, or online platforms. So you can share your work, you can chat about your work, you can encourage others, and you will be encouraged in turn. This enhances your learning and your emotional well-being. So regardless of where you are in your artistic journey, continuing artist, returning artist, or beginner, there are steps you can take to enhance your experience. Besides the ones I've spoken about that led me to do this painting sketch. So if you are still painting on a regular basis, try to push your skills further. Challenge yourself perhaps with painting outdoors, on your patio, in your garden, or further afield. Try things like new mediums, experiment with those, or set specific goals for your development. By such and such a date, you want to have completed 5 pastel paintings. Maybe it's a particular subject. If you want to try portraits, do portraits. If it's seascapes, get down to the sea, get to know your subject, and start painting. All of these challenges encourage growth and keep your practice fresh and exciting. If you're coming back to art after a long break, consider starting with a few simple projects, a few basic color studies on a 6x8 panel, a few basic landscapes, just a 4-value landscape or a 3-value landscape, just a simple thing, sky, hills, tree, a foreground. You may want to just dabble in the very foundational aspects, the almost abstract shapes. Just put down in very short order those shapes of the landscape. get the juices flowing again. That's what it's all about. If you're just getting started for the first time, choose a medium that you feel comfortable with. It could be acrylics, could be gouache. It doesn't really matter, but very often acrylics is the first choice because it seems like a safe medium. And it is something that I started with. So get a few tubes of acrylics, have a look at perhaps some of my acrylic painting demos on YouTube, get some inspiration and try it out. You need a bit of a space to sit down and work or stand or wherever it is, but you don't need much. And just accept that you are a beginner and this is about exploring and enjoying the subject. So a few things to consider is don't feel pressured to stick with that medium either. I went from acrylics into oils, then back into acrylics, and then I started with pastels over watercolor. All of it is fun. Yes, you'll have your favorite medium, but testing out others just keeps your childlike sense of fun going, if I can put it that way. Get a few essential supplies. I speak about that in many videos as well, but besides paints, you'll need a few brushes, and you can paint on paper, good watercolor paper perhaps, or even just a thick card that you put a few coats of gesso on that. Doesn't have to cost a fortune. And as you know, I emphasize working with a small palette of colors, just the primaries, maybe some earth colors and white. So that's quite simple, and you don't need an expensive easel. Okay, so it turns out one of my favorite easels is simply a desktop easel where I just fold up the arms of the easel and I can put quite large canvases or panels on that. And it's just very easy to move around, very convenient. And then learn the fundamentals. This is what we have to focus on. Basic color theory, mixing the primary colors to create secondary colors. Composition, so important, critical actually, and not as boring as it sometimes is shown to be. Right, so there are very practical ways to test out and learn composition. And then values, lights and darks. Every painting is built on a strong value structure, and I cover that extensively in my painting school in a couple of free courses, so check those out. Start with small paintings, like you see me doing here. Small is good. It builds confidence. You can complete the painting quickly. That is so important because we are looking for the small wins, and those small wins build up, and pretty soon you'll be painting at a much higher level just because it's easier to manage a small panel or small canvas. Accept your mistakes. That's just part of learning. Keep going. Don't even give them a second thought, except to learn from them. And then once your workspace is set up and you've got a process pretty much committed to muscle memory, it's going to make returning to your painting a lot easier. Aim for at least one small painting a week. Besides keeping up with your practice, consider joining a painting community. This can be your local art community or online or both. There is a lot out there and it's not threatening, very easy to do. Just chat to other people, leave a few comments, or as I say, get together with your local art community in your town or city. So there we go, a few thoughts on why painting is so important and how simple it is to actually get into it or return to it. Don't wait any longer, just begin. We're coming up to the end of this year, so finish on a high and hit the ground running in the new year with your new painting commitments. All right, this is one resolution. You don't have to wait for the new year to set. Start right now, keep going, and enjoy it. Painting is a noble profession. It's a great pastime. One of humanity's greatest achievements is creating art. So you're in good hands. Okay, I hope that's given you some things to think about and some inspiration, most of all, to get back to your painting and make sure that you are enjoying it. It's all about having fun and enjoyment. And when we're really pulling hard and finding it difficult to sit down in front of our canvas, this is going to remind you that you just start with the basics, get the motion going, and things develop, and your natural inspiration and your God-given talents are going to come through and pull you through once again and inspire you to keep going. All right, we're getting to the end of the year, and if you're like me, it's been a busy year that's just flown by. I'm starting to feel at times just like I need a bit of a break. But when I've done a painting and I'm feeling great about it, it just shaves off all of that weariness, and I'm feeling full of energy again. So I know where I need to go to get that creative flow going. So there it is. I guess we just have to keep going forward and keep creating. Could be worse. So have a good one. I hope this keeps you inspired for your next painting. And until next time, cheers for now.